Wildlife with Baluch.
Subscribe now for more shocking truths of nature.
What is that thing? It's not natural.
What if I told you that nature sometimes gives birth, not to miracles, but to nightmares? In hidden villages, deep in rural silence, animals have been born carrying something no one thought possible. Faces that look disturbingly human, eyes that blink like ours, lips that tremble as if trying to speak, and cries that echo not like bleats, but like the wail of a newborn child. Tonight, you will witness one of the creepiest truths of nature. Stories so shocking they blurred the line between man and beast. Welcome to Wildlife with Baluch, where we reveal survival, mystery, and the most unbelievable encounters the world has ever seen. Make sure to subscribe now because what you are about to witness is something you will never forget. Animals born with human faces. It begins in the stillness of dawn, a village shrouded in mist, its fields silent except for the distant cry of crows. Inside a weathered barn, a goat lay in labor. The villagers gathered, whispering prayers, waiting for another ordinary birth. But what emerged that morning was anything but ordinary. A small body, covered in fur, hooves trembling, wet with birth. And then, the head lifted. Gasps filled the barn. Women screamed, men stumbled back, children clung to their mothers. Because the face that stared back at them was not the face of a goat. It was eerily human. Eyes forward-facing, large and glossy, blinking slowly like a person's. Cheeks stretched smooth like skin, and lips, pale, trembling, opening as if they were about to speak. The villagers froze. Silence hung heavy. And then came the sound. Not the bleat of a goat, but a warped, broken cry.
What is that?
Half
I don't
animal,
believe it.
half human. The sound rattled through the rafters like a newborn child crying in the wrong body.
By the old ways,
From that moment, the village was
sacred
never the same again.
spirits return.
Word spread like fire. By midday, half the village stood at the barn door. Some prayed, some wept, some whispered of curses. The elders remembered legends, stories of demon births, of half-human creatures born as omens. Some called it the work of spirits, others a punishment. The creature trembled in the straw, its glossy eyes darting between faces, and then it cried again. This time, the sound was unmistakable. It echoed like the wail of a human infant. The villagers recoiled. Some fled. Others fell to their knees. The boundary between animal and human had been broken before their eyes. One child whispered, "It's trying to talk." And for a moment, everyone believed it. Fear turned to hysteria. Men brought ropes and staffs circling the creature. They shouted it must be destroyed before nightfall. But as the rope slipped around its neck, it let out a scream so chilling, half bleat, half desperate human cry, that even the bravest stumbled back in horror. It collapsed to its knees, eyes flooding with tears. Yes, tears. Drops of moisture rolled down its cheek-like skin, streaking the fur. The crowd fell into silence. The impossible was now undeniable. One woman ran forward, shielding it with her arms, screaming that it was not a curse, but a life. Her tears met the creature's gaze, and for a moment, the nightmare softened. But fear is louder than compassion. Shouts erupted, thunder cracked above, lightning lit the barn, and in that split second, the creature tilted its head, lips quivering as though whispering a single word. Ma. The barn exploded in panic. Mothers clutched their children. Men dropped their weapons, because no animal should ever sound like that. The storm roared. Rain hammered the roof. The villagers scattered, torn between belief and terror. At the center, the creature trembled, weak, tears streaming, its eyes blinked slowly, its breath shallow. The woman knelt beside it, her hand resting gently on its fur. The hybrid leaned weakly against her, lips quivering one last time. And then, with a faint broken cry, it went still. Silence. No storm, no shouts, no prayers, just silence. The villagers returned, pale, hollow, unable to speak. Some fell to their knees. Others simply stared, because in the hay before them lay proof of something nature should never allow. And so, in that small village, under the pale light of a storm's end, silence carried more weight than words. The hybrid creature lay still in the hay, its trembling lips frozen mid-cry, its human-like eyes closed forever. The woman who had shielded it wept openly, her tears falling onto its fur. Her sobs echoed in the hollow barn, like a lament for something that should never have existed. The villagers stood in stunned silence. No one dared to move. Their faces were pale, their hands shaking, caught between fear of what they had witnessed and guilt over what they had done. The elder lowered his staff. His wrinkled face trembled as he whispered prayers, not of destruction, but of forgiveness. For the first time, even he seemed to question the stories he had once told. Stories of curses, demons, and omens. But what truly haunted everyone present was not the sight of the creature's face. It was the sound of its voice. That broken cry, half bleat, half word, would never leave them. Some swore they heard it clearly say, "Ma." Others insisted it was only the storm twisting their ears. But all agreed on one thing. No animal should have sounded that human. The days that followed were drenched in whispers.
Oh my God!
Some villagers called it a punishment,
What is
a
that?
reminder of sins unspoken.
It's an
Others
abomination.
swore it was a sign, proof that God himself had blurred the line between human and beast. And some,
not
the
a
bravest
curse.
or perhaps the most broken,
It is a
believed
life.
it was not curse or miracle, but tragedy. A creature born into the wrong body, never meant to survive. The barn remained locked after that day. No one entered. No one dared to clear the hay. Because some nights, when the storm winds rose and lightning flashed across the fields, villagers claimed they could still hear it.
It is an omen
That
of
warped
God.
cry
It is
echoing
a
faintly
demon.
from inside, like a newborn calling from beyond the grave. Generations later, the story still
It is
lived
an
on.
omen of God.
Children
It is a
whispered about it at
demon.
night,
It is a
daring
demon.
each other to peer into the barn through cracked planks. Farmers crossing the fields at dusk said they felt eyes on them. Eyes not of animals, but something disturbingly human, watching from shadows. Scientists who heard the story dismissed it as superstition, a malformed birth exaggerated by frightened villagers. But none of them were there that night. None of them heard the cries. None of them saw the tears glisten on fur that should never have wept. And so the legend remains, suspended between truth and terror, between biology and the supernatural.
Oh my goodness!
What was it? A freak of nature? A genetic mistake?
happened?
Or proof that the line separating us from the rest
it
of the
really
animal
dead?
world is thinner than
Is
we
it
dare
real?
admit?
I don't
Because if
believe
nature
it.
can blur that line once, what's to say it hasn't blurred it many times before, in barns, in forests, in places where no camera ever reached?
My son,
Perhaps right now, somewhere hidden,
may your
another birth has
spirit
already taken
find
place.
peace.
Another creature has opened its glassy eyes for the first time, staring back with a gaze that feels far too human. And perhaps villagers, just like those in our story, are standing frozen, whispering prayers, unsure if they are looking at life or a nightmare. This is the haunting truth of nature. It is not always beautiful. It is not always merciful. Sometimes it is terrifyingly familiar. You have been watching Wildlife with Baluch, where survival, mystery, and shocking truths are revealed. If this story unsettled you, subscribe now, because the next tale may blur the line even further, pulling you into a world where the wild is not just around us,
It's not natural.
but inside us.